This is what 500,000 people under one roof looks like. This Redeemed Christian Church of God auditorium is 2 kilometers long and 1 kilometer wide. It prides itself with holding the biggest gathering of Christians on earth. A 70-year-old preacher, Dr. Enoch Adeboye, heads the church. Believing that churches should be as common as coffee shops, he opened parishes in 160 countries across the world. And as Adeboye takes the stage to begin a 4-hour sermon, he rouses the crowd with a passionate prayer. Most here have come to see him and listen to his preaching.
The churches can hold more than 200,000 worshippers.
We use the income of the church to build schools. We use the income of the church to to serve the need of the poor. For instance, in our church, we run what we call membership empowerment scheme. What we do is to give people money, interest-free money, to start small-scale businesses in clusters so that no one gets out with the money and never return. So we do that a lot. And I think last year alone, in this church alone, we are over £500 million invested.
I was raised as a Catholic, but I wouldn't really describe myself as religious today. I had never heard of things like megachurches or televangelism or the prosperity gospel. That was until I stumbled across an infamous interview.
How are you, sir? We'd just like to ask you about why you don't want to fly commercial.
You've got this journalist that is confronting this guy called Kenneth Copeland.
You said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
Get in a long tube with a bunch of demons.
We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
Copeland is being confronted about his purchase of a Gulfstream jet. And it turns out that that jet is just one of a fleet of jets that he owns, along with a boathouse, a mansion, and his very own airport. This is a preacher that is supposedly worth hundreds of millions of dollars, with an enormous following. And you're telling me that he is just one of many. This entire thing is a rabbit hole.
Pastor what is now the largest church in America, a weekly sermon watched by more than 10 million viewers on television.
The apostles were businessmen. They were rich men, had plenty of money. I'm going to show you that Jesus was a wealthy man, had plenty of money.
One of my chandeliers costs more than most people's house. I got 22 chandeliers in the house.
They're extremely greedy. They don't need mansions. They don't need jets.
God told me.
The world to look at the Nigerian mega churches as being prosperous for nothing. The people who show appreciation, who have been trained in the word of God, who really took God serious, are the ones who give to these churches, and these churches are using this money judiciously, and souls are being won all over.
Adeboye himself has a palatial home and a private jet, among other luxury items.
There are things you need, which you must have if you are to be efficient.
And a private jet is one of them.
Oh, when you have to oversee churches in 160 nations, you can't do that on a bicycle.
At a certain point in the night, hundreds of young men, women and children ran to the stage area